Thank you so much for joining us, and welcome to the Small Business Spotlight powered by Northlight Film Co. My name is Derek, and I am your host for this evening. We have Annetta Johnson from Clickflashzoom Photography. Hello, and welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's just get right into it. So you do photography. Let's just kind of start with a brief overview of what it is that you do.
Okay, photographer. I photograph everything. I have no restrictions. I don't have a niche. I photograph babies, families, senior, maternity, weddings, birthday parties, boudoir, erotic. I do it all. So beyond that, I also do photo gifts and custom orders and artwork and all kinds of other random things.
And you also do like restoration as well, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
Tell me a little bit about that, because that's kind of a unique thing that not a lot of people do.
Restoration, it really comes down to restoring those memories. That's why it's important to me, and that's why I self-taught myself to do it. It's not something I went to school for or anything like that. But yeah, I've had old photos that a cat actually jumped through. And she came to me and she's like, "It's the only photo I have of so-and-so." And I was like, okay, well, give it to me. Let me work this out. So generally what I have to do is become a puzzle master, and I have to piece it together physically, then digitize it, so then I can restore it and take out the cracks and fix the coloring and the claw marks and all that fun stuff, and then reprint it for them.
Wow. So you do a lot more than just take pictures.
Yes.
So great. So how did you get started in photography?
Well, I got started back in 2009. I started working for a retail photographer chain. Not too happy with them. But anyways, I started there. They kind of taught me the basics. They showed me, this is the settings, this is the lighting, this is how you do this. And I was like, okay. Problem with it, though, is everything was restricted. It was dummy proofed. So anyone could be taught how to do it. Whereas I'm a creative individual, and that was driving me crazy, absolutely crazy, because I'm like, I want to do fun angles, and I want to do this, and I want to do that. And everything was stuck to poles. You couldn't move them, which, of course, in downtime at the studio, I would figure out ways to not do it the corporate way. I would figure out how to remove the camera or turn certain lights off and things like that without moving too much for the newer people not to mess up.
I see. So it was kind of like everything was already set up. People just kind of walked in and you hit a button.
Yep. Yeah. You literally click a button, you move the pole, click a button. You might be able to move it up or down, left or right, but that was it. Like there was no leeway for any form of creativity.
Right. So was there a breaking point for you when you decided, like, yes, I've had enough of this, I want to do my own thing?
Absolutely. I worked there for a few years. I became a manager. I was running one of the studios in Metro Detroit. And I had repeat clients, and they loved me because I took the time with them. All that was fabulous, because I was like, these are their memories. This isn't something that's drive through McDonald's. You shouldn't come in, click, 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 and then you're done. That's not the purpose of photography. And in August of 2013, they told me I had to have a $250 sales average and only do 10-minute sessions. I said, no, that's not okay with me. My clients deserve more than that. And
so $250 session for 10 minutes?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, in the retail photography, it was literally you did the session and then you had to upsell them on prints and things like that. So the sales average is more of like the final ticket.
Like the back end, like adding on. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So the session itself was free with your purchase. So I was like, that's fine, but 10 minutes. If you've worked with a 2-year-old, 10 minutes is not going to cut it. A 2-year-old tell you no, until they warm up to you, you're not going to get that. And that could be that 10 minutes. I was like,
yeah, that whole 10 minutes, they might be crying the whole time.
Yep. or hiding behind mom or dad, or just pouting until they can warm up to you in order to get at least a few decent images in that 10 minutes. And when they told me the 10 minutes, I was like, that's not right. That in my brain is not the purpose of taking portraits. The purpose is memories and the expressions and who they are, not dealing with a 2-year-old throwing a tantrum.
So for you, it was more about, let me take the time and let me do it right, basically.
Yeah, that was it. It's like, I want to do it right. And the client, I mean, it's their right for those photos to turn out how they want or how they could be, because a lot of times they don't know what they want. They're used to the retail drive-through, but they want something more and they don't know what that is until they experience it. And I knew I could do that for people, that I could give them that extra time and still not charge them an arm and a leg in order to get that done.
Right. So then you started your photography business. Was it 2009?
No.
When did you start?
Clickflashzoom became official in 2014.
Okay, so 2014 you started, and you were in Metro Detroit at the time, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So what was that process like? Like when you first started, did you just like quit your retail job and focus fully on that? Like how did that go?
Yeah, I in August of 2013 is when I quit. Luckily, earlier that year we paid off our house, so that was one less bill we had to worry about. Between August and April of 2014, when I made it official, I revamped my 1.5 car garage into a full studio, and I still had clients from the retail photography location because they didn't want to go there unless I was there, which I truly appreciate. But they definitely helped keep me going during that time. So in 2014, when I made it official, I was like, okay, well, I'm official. I actually have to make money now.
Yeah.
Plus, I have to pay bills because now I'm not working. So I ended up starting doing small things like farmers markets and like concerts in the park, things like that. And what I would do is I'd set up a tent, I'd have a table and a backdrop. And what I would do then is do on-site prints. I would take their photo right there. It'd be in a custom folder based on the event. So they had like a memory sake that they would pay me $5 for.
Oh yeah.
$5 on-site photo, and that got me rolling with different things. I started photographing tribute artists because at concerts in the park, that's what they had, was tribute artists. So I would do that, and then I would start. I did some senior photos while I was doing farmers markets. Like I offered a free low-cost senior session right there on site. So then they could take those pictures with them when they left, like right then and there, not edited or anything. But they were very happy because they didn't have a lot of money to do an official senior session.
Right. So they got a low cost alternative that you got to make a little bit of money and do photography, and then they got like a low cost print that they could then take and this is our senior photos.
Yep. And then I would even like burn them a disc on site. Like I equipped myself to do everything on site so that way they could leave with their memories that moment. It wasn't just, here, let's take a week and then I'll send them to you. No, we're going to do this right here, right now. See, we're doing it, and then they get to leave with it. So that's how I got my name out in the Metro Detroit area. And it definitely built my business out there. Mm-hmm. And then I moved to Jackson almost 5 years ago.
Yeah. So kind of on that journey, what was the most impactful thing, or like what was the best thing that really helped your business grow?
Honestly, it was the clientele that followed me from the retail photographer, because they shove my name out everywhere. They think I am the greatest thing in the world, and I appreciate that, even though I know I have my faults. I am not the most perfect photographer whatsoever, but they have the trust in me because I don't just do a portrait session. I make it an experience for the subjects that I'm working with. It's about them. So they need to do what they want to do. And I think that's part of why that has helped build my business the most in the Metro Detroit area because word of mouth was like, hey, this girl got my most difficult, crazy 3-year-old to smile. And yes, the session looked like chaos, but she gave me some amazing portraits. And that's what I keep hearing. In fact, tomorrow I'm photographing one of those individuals that I've been photographing since she was in the belly. So.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
well, that's amazing. So the clients that you have really followed you through your whole journey.
Yeah.
So that must mean something that you do genuinely take your time. You really give them something that's meaningful to them instead of just, okay, we're gonna take some pictures of you. So that's great. Now you moved from Metro Detroit to Jackson. That's a huge move, and I assume most people aren't going to drive from Metro Detroit to Jackson. So
They do.
what has your business been like since then?
Well, my clients still come out to me.
Oh, wow.
Hence the one that I'm photographing tomorrow is coming out. And she's 13 now, by the way. Whew, makes me feel a little old. But yes, we came out to Jackson. We wanted property and things like that. And that was just like a family decision. When we moved out here, I didn't know anyone, absolutely no one, no friends, no family out here at all.
Right.
It was like a culture shock because being out here is definitely a little different than Metro Detroit.
Yeah, sure.
Including the traffic and the driving. But out here, it's more or less part of it was I was part of PTO for the elementary school.
Oh, okay.
That helped get me out there a little bit more too. Hence, I do like the youth football photos. I do the youth baseball photos, like all those. BNI has helped considerably in that as well because I've done company headshots and things like that. And now it's just kind of getting out there and reintroducing myself like I did in Metro Detroit. Mm-hmm. So I do different events. I've done like the wedding expos at, Commonwealth. I've done, all kinds of different little events just to kind of reintroduce myself, which, after so many years in Metro Detroit, it was kind of like, oh, yeah, I got to do this again just to get myself back out there and so people know who I am.
Yeah, for sure. So then being in Jackson, and actually let's talk a little bit about BNI because I recently joined and might as well shout it out while we're here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So being that I recently joined BNI, tell me a little bit about what your experience has been. Because joining networking groups, so that's one of the things that I've been doing a lot is joining all kinds of different networking groups to try and just, meet people, network, get to know other business owners around. So what's been your experience with BNI?
So I'm going to tell you my BNI story because it's kind of amusing to an extent. So when I moved here, I was obviously posting on like mom-to-mom pages and stuff like that, hey, I'm new to the area. I'm a photographer. I'd love to meet you, capture your memories, things like that. A woman named Kim Conley, who owned Kim Tutoring, she actually invited me to put some flyers in her office. And I was like, sweet, thank you. Gave me the address and I headed that way and she gave me the wrong address and ended up at a psychiatrist. And I thought she was pranking me because I was like, seriously? I know I'm crazy, but come on now. She felt horrible about it, but it was kind of funny because I was sent to a psychiatrist before meeting her. I'm like, thanks. So she invited me and then she told me about her networking group. And I was like, okay, sure, I'll come visit, so what do I got to lose, right? So I went in and sat at the meeting and I saw everybody's like relationships and like the power teams, like everything that was going on in that room, because I'm one of those that sit back and observe before I jump in head first. Mm-hmm. At least I try to observe before I do that. And it just like was amazing. Like I was like, that is what I need. This is what I need. And I've never been part of a networking group before.
Yeah.
And in Metro Detroit, I've never heard of BNI. Never heard of it in Metro Detroit. I had no clue what it was. None. And at that time I was like, well, I just moved here 6 months ago, just bought the house. I can't really join at the moment. So their visitor day came around and Kim's like, do you want to come again? I was like, sure, why not? She goes, bring like 60 business cards. I was like, 60? Last time I checked, there was only like 20 people, 25 people in the room, like 60 cards. She goes, yes, 60 cards. I said, okay. Go in, and their visitors day was huge. They had a ton of people in there. Now I see why she told me to bring 60 business cards. I was like, oh, okay. And at that point I said, you know what? I'm joining. This is the thing. So I joined, and within 6 months, I made my membership fee back. I didn't think that was going to happen because I was like, I'm a photographer. And I don't charge very much. Like I am not like one of those who have charged $500 a session.
Right.
I'm one of those like, you pay $150 and we're good. And so building the relationships in BNI, I have gotten so many referrals and so much business out of that it has brought me out into the Jackson area even more.
Yeah.
And honestly, with having BNI on my website as being a member and on LinkedIn and Indeed and Yelp, believe it or not, Yelp has brought me a lot of business, and it doesn't cost anything to sign up for that. But the fact saying that I'm a BNI member in all those areas has brought more attention to me just because of that.
Yeah, I know it has weight to it. Being a member means something, and I know that, like, if I'm looking somewhere and I see, oh, they're a BNI member too, like, sure, let's check them out. So to pivot a little bit, I want to talk about over the years. So you've been doing this since 2014 on your own.
Yeah.
What have been the greatest moments and what have been the hardest moments?
Well, they kind of go hand in hand. As a photographer, believe it or not, there's seasonal work. Like, the hardest part was me learning that between January and March, a lot of people don't get photos done, like, at all.
Especially in Michigan.
Right. Even with a studio built in my basement, like, that's not a thing unless it's a birthday or maybe an indoor event. It's not huge picture season. So that was the hardest thing for me to get over, is I have 3 months of no income, no consistent income, or even sporadic income for that. So, which actually kind of is the best part, because I have those 3 months to come up with new fun things to do, such as set people on fire and take their photo, or printing lithophane photos for nightlights, or coming up with some other random artistic way to do a session, whether it's boudoir or a kid or families, something new and unique that makes their memories that much more memorable. So during those 3 months, it's more like my learning time to come up with new fun things to do versus worry about a session here or there. So it's both.
Right. Well, and I assume that those 3 months too kind of give you a chance to rest and recoup for the season that's coming up. Because I know for video as well, it's very seasonal. Like the summer, there's events, everything's going on. People need, senior pictures. They need all this kind of stuff. But then as you kind of get into the winter, people hunker down and they're just, kind of need to get through the winter.
Let's get through this before, Yeah.
So it on one hand, a lot less income during those months, but on the other hand, you get to kind of experiment around, learn new things, and just kind of take a break for a minute.
Yeah, I get to bring out like new fun creative ideas, test them out on my poor 13-year-old child who's really sick of me taking his photo. And but yeah, it's definitely like a little breather, kind of like a teacher schedule almost, because you have those 3 months off, but it's just in the winter instead of during the summer. But yeah, I get to come up with new fun things to do. And honestly, the fire photography has been the most popular, especially with sports photos or boudoir, or even kids who want to be Harry Potter. Like they just have a blast with it.
Yeah, so you learned how to make it look like people were set on fire.
It is fire. It's real fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, people are like, that's Photoshop. I'm like, no. I literally put the stuff in your hand and I light it on fire and I take your photo.
Wow. Yeah.
And then it goes completely out and we have a really cool photo of you holding fire. So
Wow, that's cool. How did you learn how to do those things?
some of it is like I've watched like YouTubes or Pinterest and things like that, but it's one of those I have OCD of when it comes to, okay, I see this, but how can I make it better?
Right.
I'm not one of those, oh, this is how you do it. No, I need to know how to make it better and go that extra step because that's just who I am. Everything can be better in some form. And so I took like a month of losing some arm hair and probably a little bit more than that, testing the mixture and making sure it was the right balance of all the ingredients in order to make sure it doesn't burn you, it doesn't go out too fast to where I can capture the photo and kind of go from there. It literally, like I said, a month of just playing around with it. And like I said, I lost some arm hair in the process, but yeah, it's cool.
So throughout your whole business journey, what do you think is the most impactful or like the most important thing that you've done that's helped you grow?
Honestly, it's the relationships I have with my clients. I have one client who I worked with for 18 months to create his photographic autobiography. This man was in his 80s. We started the process during COVID. Great time to start, I know, but it happened. 172-page photographic autobiography. Wow. And this man is a retired neurosurgeon. So he's gone to all these places, all this stuff. Like he's done a lot in his life and he wanted to document it for his grandchildren. And we spent 18 months restoring, digitizing, taking new photos and putting them into his story and him narrating it. And that was probably the most impactful thing for me because that really shows how important the photos and the memories that go with those photos are. And that just helped me drive more to make sure that people get those memories so that way when they're gone, their later generations have those to look back on.
Yeah. Well, and I know, like, with building relationships, I mean, I talk about it all the time. It's all about building that trust, building the relationships, having connections. Because for me, like, it's easy to see somebody's website, or it's easy to see somebody's logo or their brand, but to know that you can trust them, to know that you can actually, that what they do is going to be good. I talked about this in an ad I did recently where it's kind of like a trust fall. Like somebody contacts you and they're hoping that by using you that you're going to take care of them.
Right.
And so I love that a lot because for me, that's my whole philosophy is just taking care of people and what their vision is. Obviously, we bring a creative aspect of it, but at the end of the day, it's the person or the business that's hiring us that we want to show their vision.
Exactly.
So yeah, I love that a lot. And I guess on that note, say there's somebody that wants to get into a creative field, and they're thinking about starting a business. What would you say to a young entrepreneur today, or something you want to tell yourself back when you started? What would one thing be?
Don't give up, breathe. It'll be okay. That's pretty much it. Because otherwise, if you stress out about it too much, you're going to make mistakes. If you don't breathe, you're going to wear yourself out. But at the same time, don't stop. Keep going. Just do it in a incremental fashion. Don't try to go gun ho because that's when mistakes happen. Step back, breathe, refocus. So I actually have a shirt that says, "When life gets gets blurry, adjust the focus." So that is something that I kind of live by. Like, okay, yes, you have a lot going on. You're trying to do this, and this. Breathe, step back, refocus, because there's no reason to give up. start a new business. It's a great thing to do. I've been doing it for 12 years. Yeah, I did. I'm like, what year is it?
They're flying by.
They are, like, especially when my kid turned 13. I'm like, oh my God. So I've been doing it for, 12 years. And am I a millionaire? Absolutely not. Do I enjoy what I do? Absolutely. And that is the biggest thing. If you're going in to start a business, make sure it's something that you enjoy doing, because otherwise you're going to fail.
Well, and I know in business, it's very easy to get discouraged because, especially when you're starting, there's going to be great weeks and there's going to be not so great weeks. I know when I first started, the hardest thing was like I'd have a great week and I'd be so encouraged, and then I'd have like a really bad week, and I was like, is it even worth it? But I love how you put that, is step back, breathe, and refocus, because it really is that. And I love that a lot, because it's easy to get discouraged. It's easy to let things kind of get in the way of the business. And I know for me, I get really excited about what I do. I'm very passionate about what I do. So with that, sometimes I bite off a little bit more than I can chew.
Yep.
And like it happened recently where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. This is too much. So that's a great point. Take a step back and just refocus everything. I assume with your business journey, it probably wasn't all fun and rainbows.
No.
So were there any things that like kind of kept you going through when, like, the times that it was discouraging, or the times that it was hard? What let you push through?
It literally was the fact that in my mind, I started this, that this is what I want to do. And yes, I had not just a bad week, could be a bad month or 2 months. And then you're like, okay, you're starting to get really worried because all of a sudden that there's nothing. And you get scared that maybe I didn't make the right choice. But then I go back and I look at all the clients that I've helped. Yeah, I'm having a rough couple months, but it's going to pick back up again. And because I've helped all these clients, I have one client where she came to me when I was at the retail photography, and she had her wedding photos. Her wedding photos were absolutely horrible. She's very dark skinned, Nigerian, very, very dark. And the photos, it looked like a floating white dress. And yeah, horrible. And she asked me if I could do anything with them. This is before I was even on my own, like doing my own thing. And I was like, you know what? Let me take a look at them. Let me see if I can do anything. I readjusted the lighting, touched it up. Photoshop was my savior once I figured out how to use it. Because, I would use free programs and stuff before.
Yeah.
And I readjusted them and put them into a book for her, and it made her cry because she was able to see herself in her photos now. From that point, I took her son's graduation. I took her second son's graduation. I took her first son's engagement photos, wedding photos, and newborn photos of their new little one. I took photos of her mother's 80th birthday. I put together a slideshow for them, all that. And the fact that they consider me part of their family, and knowing that I have touched these lives just gave me that motivation that I have more lives to touch to keep going and capture those memories. So that is probably what kept me going the most. Yes, my husband's supportive, even though sometimes he's like, really? Really? Yes, dear, really. And my family was always supportive. But the real kicker is knowing that people that I'm not related to, that I don't spend every day with, consider me part of their family, and was able to motivate me to keep going.
Yeah. Well, and that's beautiful too, because really at the end of the day, what you did for her was made her feel seen. And I love that so much, because we get the opportunity as people with a camera to make people feel seen. And that's one of my favorite things, is when people see themselves and they're happy about it. They're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. because, it's rare in somebody's life. Like we do it all the time,
Right.
but it's rare in somebody's life to get photos or to, like get a video. It might just be for a special occasion, or it might be, like a once every few years kind of thing. So it's not every day that somebody gets their picture taken or gets a video taken of them. So it's that opportunity where it's like, I have this one chance to really make somebody feel seen. So
Yeah, the way they look at it and they feel seen and they're overwhelmed with happiness, or even with my photo restoration, when it's something that's really like heartfelt close to them and it got destroyed and they have nothing else with that, I can fix that and then be able to help them keep those memories. Like that way, that ancestor can be seen for future generations. They can be seen, everybody can be seen and remembered. And that's the key part, is people need to be able to be themselves and be seen. And that's part of why I do what I do, is I want my subjects to be themselves. Like, I don't know how many times I've been called the chicken nugget in my life just to get a kid to smile and be themselves. And French fry, chicken nugget. I don't know why chicken nugget and French fry, but multiple children do it to me. I don't know. But they have fun, and it's a memory on top of being seen. Like the collaboration between the two is what really keeps me going, even in my slow time. So
amazing. Well, I think that's a great note to end on. So now I just want to open up the floor to you. Tell us where you can find you. How can we support you?
I have my website, clickflashzoom.com. I also am on Facebook, LinkedIn, all those fun different places. But the Facebook page has a lot of samples of my work. So does my website. But yeah, 123clickflashzoom@gmail.com or 734-628-8155.
Perfect. All right. Well, we'll make sure to get some people out to you and come out and support you. And thank you so very much for watching today. Again, I'm Derek, and this is the Small Business Spotlight powered by Northlight Film Co. Again, thank you for being on today. It's been a pleasure talking to you. And make sure you shop local.